Today we're going through the next part of our streaming for Banter VR tutorial. So here we have our Banter VR client, and you can see I'm already in camera mode like we did in the last tutorial. Today the focus is on OBS itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the OBS client. Now there are plenty of tutorials to support streaming using OBS, but today what I thought I'd do is I would just go through the settings that I use specifically for streaming for Banter VR. So if I look on the left hand side here, I have a fairly simple setup. I have the Banter intro screen, and I just have another scene that I haven't even named properly. It's just called scene 2. So if I click on Banter intro, you'll see the video that plays, for example at the beginning of this particular video. And all I have here is a VLC source. So I clicked add, I added a video source, and what you'll see is the menu that pops up, and I just have the default intro video. So if I were to add a new one, you can see I click add file, and here it is, the intro. So obviously for yourself you might like to create a little video intro and have that as a separate source that you can add to a scene, and then when you click on it, or if you hit click replay, it will play it. So I typically add it to the beginning and the end of the stream. It's not a bad idea to have an additional source somewhere that you can sort of go to if you need to pause the stream for whatever reason, but I just go back to this this video. So if I go into the properties, you can also see that I've unticked the loop playlist because I don't need it to loop over and over. So typically what happens is when I start the stream by clicking start stream, first thing I do is I click on this and then I just hit replay and it plays that intro video. So that is pretty much it at the moment for that scene. If I come into my second scene, you'll see the main Banter VR client showing. And this is the same, so for example if I had to move this around now and I switch back, you can see that there's a little bit of residual movement there. Essentially all I've got here is two sources. One which is the Banter VR client itself, so you see here banter.exe, so that's the Banter, you can see it here at the bottom, and I've just full screened that at the moment. And here I've also added an additional one that's just so that I can capture my voice. You don't have to do this. I have a little bit of a more complicated audio setup that I'm not going to discuss at the moment in this video, but essentially if you want to be able to capture your voice through OBS, you need to add it as a source. So if we go into settings, for example, as I said, all of this stuff at this stage is not specific to Banter, but it's just a sort of a general overview. If I go in, you can see, there you go, I've added my webcam. It's not a great quality audio, but that's what it is at the moment, and most of the audio is captured through this desktop audio. So what that means is that essentially anything that comes through desktop will normally come through onto the stream. As I said, I have a bit of a fancy audio setup specifically so that I can also talk through Discord if we're trying to moderate things, but you shouldn't have to worry about these things. If so, that's a topic for another video. So really the only things which are fancy about Banter and streaming is that we use YouTube. So if I go into my settings, I'm obviously not going to show you a specific key, but if I go to stream, I'm using YouTube, and I have a stream key here, and if I put that in, you can see that I've already got my stream key. I'm obviously not going to click show, but that stream key is obtained from within YouTube, and you need to copy paste it into here. Now one thing to realize is that this setup here, this is a configuration. If I close and reopen OBS, this configuration will come back exactly as it was as I last used it. And there are two menus at the top here which you might find interesting. So for example, I have a scene collection here, and so this setup here where I've got my scenes, my sources, my audio mixer, this is all managed from within the scene collection. So if I want to make sure that if I want to do another activity and I don't want to mess up my scenes, all I do is I switch to a different one, and then I can play with it without damaging my original scene. And here you go, you just click back to my Banter one. The only other thing that's useful is under Profile, I have all of these different configurations specifically to manage for the different events. So essentially the way that YouTube works with the event system is you create a new stream for a particular event. It's going to go live at a particular time, and when that's ready to go live, I would, for example, say I'm going to stream the Banter highlights. And so I would click on that. You don't have to worry about this menu. You can just close this, and then by default, as I said, I'm not going to show you what the actual stream key is, but under stream key now, this is now switched to a different stream key. So that stream key will automatically get used when I click Start Streaming, and it will pipe through to a different event that's in YouTube. So each one of these represents a different stream key. Most of these stream keys are specific to the event, as I said, in YouTube, but we do have a special one called Impromptu Stream, and what that means is that there is a default Go Live setting in YouTube, and if you use that one, then you don't have to set up an event. If I use this one and start streaming, it will immediately just go live within YouTube. Obviously, all of that stuff is configured within YouTube, so you have to have a little bit of coordination. You do the work in YouTube first to set up the events or to set up the default key for an impromptu stream, and then when you're ready, you click the configuration for that particular stream, and if I just click Start Streaming now, it would in fact immediately go live on YouTube. Other things to be interested in. So let me just think about this for a second. I've got my microphone that I'm captured. I spoke in the previous video about how if your microphone is muted in here, you see it's got the little red cross next to it at the moment, it won't be captured by the stream. And by default, I don't capture my voice on the stream, but I could just by clicking the X. Obviously, this whole video is being recorded on a second OBS, which is capturing my voice, which is why you can hear me at the moment. I don't think there's anything else particularly. Don't worry about some of these other things like virtual camera stuff. There are plugins that you can get for OBS. As I said, this is not a general OBS tutorial video. This is just how I have my setup for streaming Banter events. I don't think that there's anything else that I've missed. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and speak later.